Well, it says we're live, so I think we're live.
I think we are. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the live streaming event that happens every Monday at this time. My name's Heidi.
And I'm Toby.
My husband, Toby.
How's it going?
Welcome to Crypto Tips live stream. So what we do here is... What?
Numbers picked up.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Okay.
What we do here is we cover a little bit of crypto news, a little bit of global economic news, just to give you a well-rounded update on what the heck is happening.
Yeah. Also
peppered in with our opinions on it all. So that is what we're doing here. So before I get into it, I do want to do a couple housekeeping informations. For example, I guess there's... You know, it's always season for the scammers out there, especially when prices begin to rise. And apparently, this situation is no different. There is a person on Instagram who is trying to get people to... They're impersonating my account. My point being is that if you ever want to find the official ways of other platforms to contact me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Patreon, all of those links are always found in the video descriptions, as well as I believe in the channel description. There's also an email there that you can use to contact me as well. Wanted to get that out of the way. So on Instagram, it's just real crypto tips for my account. So don't be fooled. And don't fall for any guaranteed returns because that's always bad. Okay, so getting right into it. Yes, today there has been some news coming out about Ledger, Trezor, KeepKey as well is apparently affected. I don't think that this might be legitimate, but maybe to calm your fears, there's been a hacker who has been saying that he has hacked the databases of the Shopify accounts for Ledger, Trezor, KeepKey, and even for the investment firm Bank to the Future. And so what Shopify is basically is a platform that allows you... It's pretty much, you know, your proof that you have purchased a Ledger, Trezor, or KeepKey. So, you know, that's identifying information could be, I don't know what kind of information they're claiming to have, but could be your address, your contact information. And it's also an epic reminder of, even though, you know, you're getting a hardware wallet, you are going through a centralized process to get that hardware wallet. You're giving that company your information, and however they are storing it, you're placing your trust in that information. So along with this, I have a Patreon account. You can go to patreon.com/cryptotips, and on June 3rd, I will be hosting a new class going over how to protect your privacy, how to boost your privacy online and within this cryptocurrency space. And within that, I think I will be dabbling a little bit on how to store your private keys or your cryptocurrencies on a hardware device, not a Ledger or KeepKey, but pretty much just like a USB device, and it's a way for you to do it completely anonymously without giving anyone your information and flying completely under the radar. So if you're interested in that, those classes are available to the CT Club members on my Patreon account. I've also done classes on wallets and also on how to stake coins to earn a passive income. And I've had pretty good reviews from those. So we'll be keeping it going. If you guys are new to my Patreon and you missed that wallets class, I will be holding it again soon. So you guys can participate in the private live stream that it is, so you can get your questions answered. Okay, so anyway, Ledger and Trezor are saying that this alleged hack might not have happened because the database that they are claiming to have gained access to is not matching up with their own records. So whether this person is just trying to create some FUD around hardware wallets or not, whether or not this is true, in my opinion, this is just, again, highlighting the reality of buying a hardware wallet through companies is you are giving them your information through this Shopify app. And as such, you're trusting them to have to store it correctly. And speaking of database information breaches that were leaked, BlockFi had some of their customers' information leaked because of a SIM card swap hack. So some guy who was responsible for storing all these people's information his cell phone was hacked, and all of that was released. So ever-present reminder of protecting your identity, your sensitive information, and just being careful of who you give it to, because nowhere is safe as long as you have exposed it. Next up, I want to talk about this little ditty where U.S. sanctions against China tailwind for Bitcoin's bullish moves. What they're saying here is, with this trade war we've been seeing between the U.S. and China has fueled a lot of Chinese investors into hedging the possible devaluation of the yuan by getting into Bitcoin. And there's always been a lot of activity between Chinese and getting into Bitcoin. But they're saying that this could be even more so because apparently the White House has, White House National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien threatens China with economic sanctions over this recent Hong Kong business. So, obviously they're not approving of China's takeover of Hong Kong, and by doing so, by implementing sanctions. And it's an epic reminder that Bitcoin is borderless, and it can be a hedge for anyone who is the subject of these, political wars between different countries. You really have nothing to do with it, but you will be a victim of those decisions. And having something that is borderless, that is peer-to-peer, censorship resistant, is one heck of a cool tool to have.
I mean, you got to be pretty, no offense, but dumb if you're a wealthy Chinese person and you're not putting a little bit of your cash into Bitcoin.
Only if you're wealthy by accident or something.
Come on.
Yeah. So, Tracy, don't send me 1 Bitcoin. I will not send you 10 back, Tracy. But that is an epic reminder. That's a perfect example of what these scammers say. They say, please just send half an Ethereum and, you'll get a guaranteed return back. They just want your money. They're not giving you anything back. It's sad that I feel like I do these reminders all the time, but it is frequent. There's always new people coming in. So always, I guess, healthy reminders. Next up, I want to talk about small cap crypto assets are outperforming Bitcoin. And here's why this will end. So there's pretty much talking about alt season isn't here to stay. Here's one thing I want to say about this. The author of this article, if you've read it, I believe, obviously, is a Bitcoin maximalist. Because where does he's towards the end of this, they're saying that. Oh, it says prominent stock commentator Stephen Burns said that he thinks 99.9% of altcoins are going to zero over a buy and hold time frame. So saying anything in the long term is going to zero, adding that he thinks so because they have zero value. Now, in my last video, I talked about who's investing in cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin and why, and kind of that early adopter mindset I've referenced quite a few times in past videos. And for me, maximalism is proof that you get bored. You get not bored, you get lazy, or you get closed-minded. And to think that, it's obvious at this point to see the value of Bitcoin, but don't get complacent and thinking that everything else is a scam. Sure, plenty of altcoins are vaporware. They're not actually trying to build anything or be a solution for anything, but they just want to get a profit and a pump and dump scheme. And I'll show you an example of that coming up. But to say that all altcoins or 99.9% of them are going to zero because they have zero value, tell that to Ethereum and any Turing complete programming code that allow you to do smart contracts that has built on the foundation that Bitcoin has brought us and is advancing past it in ways that Bitcoin might not be totally suited to do so. So there's certainly value to be found in altcoins, and to automatically kind of write them off just because they're not Bitcoin is, you're missing your chance to be.
People have been saying this for a very long time.
Yeah.
Since I remember
Ethereum
people
was in the wee days.
Yeah, I remember people saying, Ethereum's a scam at 70 cents. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, glad I didn't listen to them.
Exactly.
Dang.
And so even within this cryptocurrency space, you're going to find a lot of friction. And, when Satoshi published the white paper, he was found with so much friction And naysayers, pretty much apart from Hal Finney, was one of the only people who were supportive of him and open-minded. And it's like a fractal. Same here is true, where there's still a small percentage of people who are.
And let me add really quick, because this next bull run will be liquidity driven. I mean, they're not going to just invest in Bitcoin. That's a guarantee. That's like 100%. I'll say it right now. Coming out here, mark my words, 100% that Bitcoin isn't going to be the only thing going to the moon the next bull run.
Yeah.
I've heard it before.
It's not to say that, everything is a chance. They are certainly highly speculative. But again, referring to my past video talking about that risk-reward ratio with altcoins, that is also true. You can just put a few dollars here and there, and you never know what's going to hit. You have to be able to, say goodbye to that small investment, because they're definitely not as proven, time-tested as Bitcoin or some of the other more mature altcoins like, say, Ethereum. But anyway, Tasman is saying he showed up for Toby's guitar playing.
Oh, thanks.
Are you gonna end the show with the guitar?
No.
We're not up for a live show yet, but
not yet. I'll let you know when the concert's on.
Hey, Sky. Good to see you guys here. So hi, everyone who's in the comments. Good to have you here. We're just going to keep it rolling. So speaking of, not every altcoin is worth it, but that's not to say that all of them are going to zero. Here is an example of a pump and dump, a rather extreme pump and dump that happened quite recently. Let's see.
A Tron?
Tron.
That is one coin I will never, ever, ever touch. That's just me personally.
I kind of don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to give it airtime.
Speak for Heidi.
Oh, come on. You know how I feel about it. Okay. So, 4chan rumor. There's this chat group or chat platform, 4chan. There's a rumor circling around it that this one coin was going to pump all the better than some other coin. I don't know. Let me just read this. It says a low-cap cryptocurrency surged more than 10,300% in an instant after users of the anonymous forum site 4chan and Telegram appeared to buy into a rumor that the coin was poised to rally. So what this means is someone had a huge bag, or a few people had very big bags, and all they had to do was say, hey, it's going to pump, and have bots or paid shills that are paid to do this to say it's going to pump. And then all of a sudden, if you're in, like, Telegram is also, like, super heavy with scammers and stuff. Impersonators of me, by the way, it's not me. And 4chan. And, if you're in that and that's suddenly all you're seeing, you can feel like this hardcore FOMO. But if that's the only thing that you have to think that this price is going to rise is because some random person said that it will, it's because they want to sell it when you buy it at that higher price. And it successfully pumped and it successfully dumped. So
it's a big connect. Yeah,
definitely be wary of these Telegram pump and dump channels. You're most likely going to be on the wrong side of that. And it's opportunity cost too, and time you could have spent otherwise investing in actually quality altcoins that have better fundamentals, actually any fundamentals that would justify an increase in price. So, Next up, I want to talk about Africa is experiencing a crypto renaissance. This is something that we've witnessed when we went through Africa. It's been like 3 years now. We did a tour through Africa pretty much, and we were in Zimbabwe and Tanzania, and the few people that we met there in South Africa.
More like not a tour.
Yeah, we busted.
Wasn't much of a tour, but yeah.
In Africa, you can take a 16-hour bus ride, and it costs like $4. So
that's pretty crazy.
Super cheap and a nice way to see Africa.
Yeah, it is
authentic way, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But do it if you have a travel partner, for sure. I would recommend that, just in case. But anyway,
just go to the bathroom before you hop on.
Yes. Yes, and bring your own food. We should do it, or we talk about our travel stories
sometime, maybe if they want to hear it.
But so anyway, the people that we met, they were so eager to hear about a way to opt out of their governmentally issued and corrupt fiat currency system.
Isn't that an
Which is
oxymoron?
What?
Corrupt fiat system?
That's just a double negative.
Yeah.
It's good that they are so aware of how their current system is wrong, and it's unfortunate that they're so in touch with how they've been wronged by it. They have that open-mindedness, but at the same time, it demands really quality education for them, because would also be a breeding ground for scam artists to tell them, yeah, this is like Bitcoin, but it's cheaper, and it's not, and it's like one of those pump and dump schemes that we just talked about. So I think it's great that they're open to this, and that maybe there's people that are making available these infrastructures that will allow them to use cryptocurrencies. Maybe they'll do like a locally kind of issued cryptocurrency would be cool. I know Akon was doing something. I forget the name of his coin.
Scam coin.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so yeah, that's what. If any of you wanted to, and you have a good heart, good head on your shoulders, and you want to contribute to this cryptocurrency space, I would encourage you lending your time to finding quality projects that are helping Africa, talking about them, and providing educational information for them that can point them in the right direction and kind of let them know what a red flag looks like.
I mean, we actually did that with an orphanage in
Tanzania. Yeah.
Was it Tanzania?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tanzania.
I call it Tanzania.
So right on the Zimbabwe River.
Yeah.
Or not the Zimbabwe River.
Zambia. No.
Zambezi
River.
Sorry. And so we actually used Bitcoin and donated that to them. So they actually got to see it transact and everything else. And we paid, we kind of used like a Bitcoin, what is it,
paper
card
wallet?
to extract money, and then to pay for, and then like how many kids were on the
safari.
The little safari.
As many as we could fit in the van, so like 10 probably.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, so 15? It was cool. We took them on a safari. So that's like something really cool that you can just, as simple as that, it doesn't cost that much money, and you can go out and show people. So it's a good way to educate people while having a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's great to see that this is kind of a way that they can, step up out of the situation that they're in and have actually like a fighting chance.
That was Zambia, not Tanzania.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Which is why it was the Zambezi River.
Zambezi River, yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so last up for me, I want to talk about, according to coininsider.com, I don't know if these are, they don't even say that these are like the most profitable. It just says Bitcoin might not be the most profitable to mine for the average person, just because of the amount of computing power needed to compete with the huge mining farms that are all over Bitcoin. So I don't know that these are necessarily going to be the most profitable, but they're probably the easiest to mine, and that way maybe you get more coins. I don't know if the coins are necessarily appreciating in price so much, especially this first one that they're listing. Unfortunately, Grin has been having kind of a rough start.
It's a Mimblewimble, right?
It is Mimblewimble.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first coins that are using that technology, which is great. It's a privacy-focused coin, although there is some rumblings. Well, I mean, the fact is there was a security issue with Grin that they've known about but have yet to have addressed. Apparently, it's a well-known issue that they've been aware of. But anyway, Grin's been struggling. But so if you guys want to get into mining as a way to accumulate crypto, maybe you don't have so much cash on hand to be investing, or you have some computer that's just been kicking around not doing anything, and you can lend it to running 24/7 for mining something. These are some coins that maybe you can check out. There's Grin. Again, it's a privacy focused coin. Zcash is also privacy focused. Most of these actually are. So they give you, it's proof of work, obviously. That's why you're able to mine it with your computer. The hashing function and how many coins you will get for mining a block. Ravencoin, still in top 50. I was actually kind of Surprised to say that. And then Monero, of course, the privacy coin everyone loves.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And Ethereum Classic for those who want to support what most people might consider the real Ethereum.
Ethereum Classic is pretty much a hedge. This is what I say it's a hedge against Ethereum.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, why not hold it?
Philosophically, it's the original chain, so it should be Ethereum, and the other one should change its name. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when that happened, Vitalik and most of the good developers and the heavy hitters went with the forked version of that. So that's why you're seeing a lot more activity with Ethereum. But Ethereum Classic does exist. It is mineable, especially when Ethereum goes to proof of stake. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Ethereum Classic. Well, got a couple months now. Yeah. July apparently is going to go. Yeah. And then apparently also this gives you a list of the cheapest countries to mine cryptocurrency. So if you want to move somewhere according to where you can mine cryptocurrencies, here's your options. Or if you want to see where a country falls on this list, you can go to coininsider.com
and just because it's the cheapest country to mine doesn't mean it's the best country. Because first of all, that and as well as you need cooler and drier air. Yeah. That's actually better for the machines for it to run all the time. So say for instance you have a really cheap mining rig station in like Dubai or Qatar or whatever, just somewhere super hot, then it's not going to be as efficient. You know what I mean? And you might be replacing those rigs a lot. You might be spending a lot of money on cooling systems. So the cooler the place is, the less electricity it uses, and it's easier on your rigs.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting the logistics you have to think about when you're going into something like that.
And just if you're thinking of building like a giant mining farm, then I would not put it all in one place. And I also wouldn't put it in just one country. I would move that around. Diversify your countries for your mining rigs. Just letting you know. That might be a good idea.
Yeah. And, okay, this is the last one I'm going to talk about. This little ditty by Plan B. Interesting person to follow on Twitter if you're not already doing so. Here his Twitter handle. But here he says... there are more than 200,000 high ultra net worth
individuals.
high net worth individuals. Really high up there in the world. 200,000.
Over 30 million, that's your high net worth.
Oh, if you're holding over $30 million. Yeah. If they buy Bitcoin, they won't buy one or two. They buy more. What if only 10% of these ultra high net worth individuals decide it might be wise to get some? The picture here being there's not enough to go around.
No, definitely not. This is why I'm so bullish.
It's when the bids go high. Because people want to get it. And if especially the way things are going, people need to get it. We're seeing people in China who need to get it. People in the U.S. are going to be seeing the repercussions of this unlimited quantitative easing, are going to need to get it.
And let me just hop into this article as well. Hop into the next article, So, I mean, you're having right here, Crispin Odey, one of Europe's highest profile fund managers, says that governments may ban private gold ownership if they lose control of inflation in the wake of what's happening. So, this is just one reason why people will be switching over to Bitcoin, Monero, something like that.
Unconfiscatable.
Yeah, it's just, there's going to be so much cash rolling into this space, you won't even believe it. I mean, people are saying it's going to, potentially $1 trillion, for each coin or for some coins out there. Well, I mean, yeah, of course. There's going to be so much out there, especially, whether you like it, but illegal activities such as like drug dealers and stuff will probably want to get into this, because that's an easy way for them to throw around, cash. And they can just hire a hacker. It's not that hard. So I mean, I see that happening. Not saying that's a very bad thing to do, but do what you want. So, but I mean, I also see a lot of rich people getting into this. And for, if there's a quarter of the coins are already gone, like off the market for good right now. I mean, the supply is so low. I just it's so bullish that yeah, we could see $1 million Bitcoin, like pretty freaking easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
But what I was gonna say here too about so yes, gold is confiscatable. That's been proven in the past. It's happened. It's happened in different countries. But with Bitcoin, it is unconfiscatable. I keep wanting to say unconfiscatable. You guys can discuss in the comments. But it is unconfiscatable if you are storing it right. If you're keeping your coins on a centralized exchange or on a hot wallet, like a web wallet, something that is using a centralized server, something that has a centralized company, CEO, person behind it, that if a country wants to confiscate gold and then people are moving into Bitcoin, what makes you think they're not going to want to try to confiscate what they can of that to discourage people from getting into Bitcoin? Obviously, that's why they would confiscate gold, to discourage that and get people to sell it or, enter back into their fiat system. But centralization is such a weakness. We've seen it with a Steam blockchain, with any kind of delegated proof of stake blockchain. Different than proof of stake. Delegated proof of stake is different. But anyway, don't store your coins on a centralized exchange if you want it to be confiscatable. If you want to know how, check out my wallets class on my Patreon account for the CT Club members. Okay, moving on. Moving right along.
So, central banks are creating fake markets. Bank of America strategy
have been, but yes.
Yeah, have been creating it. They're essentially trying to own the entire world. Right underneath it says central banks have deployed a total of around $4 trillion of asset purchases over the past 8 weeks. I think the Fed balance sheet is around 8 now, 8 or 9 trillion, which is crazy. So they're going to try to own the entire world. And they know exactly what to do. And this is what they're doing. So, just for example, Hertz rental car was going for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and the Fed came in and stepped in and is going to buy their debt. Yes, I'm not making that up. They're going to buy the debt. Mm-hmm. So, bailout. They're gonna own part of Hertz, part of it. I'm sure they've made deals where they're gonna own the whole freaking thing. So, okay, next. Let's see. Okay.
Well, speaking of, real quick about the rental car thing, is what you're saying is that these rental car companies are going out of business because tourism is dead or people can't afford a rental car anymore. So they have to flood the market with these old rental cars, used cars at a really, really cheap price. So what we've been saying is if you were able to, manage your funds in a smart way to take advantage of situations like this, you might be able to find yourself, if you need a car, to now buy one that is super cheap than it was before. And that's what we mean by
but
organizing your positions.
I would wait.
Still wait.
Just wait.
Don't jump the gun yet.
Look at the next one that I'm about to talk about. Bankruptcy tsunami begins. Thousands of default notices are flying out the door. So like I was saying, we're in a depression full blown. Let's go underneath it says, the stakes are enormous and the landlords are suffering too. An estimated $7.4 billion in rent for just April hasn't been paid, or about 45% of what's owed, according to a recent analysis by CoStar Group, which also found that just a quarter of expected rent payments have been received by landlords. Nobody's got the cash anymore. Nobody's got the foot traffic. People are defaulting. Just wait. This is real. It's really sad.
And it's not just going to go right back to normal. It's not going to spring back.
And this is just the U.S. I mean, I'm not even going to get on.
It's going to be a similar situation everywhere that has gone through this kind of a lockdown for this amount of time.
So the next one, here you go. Millions of Americans skip credit card and car payments. 15 million credit card accounts and 3 million auto loans didn't get paid in April. Yes, as the, you know what, ravaged the economy. Actually, it was a government mandated shutdowns. Yeah. That's who did it. We can get the C word out of the way. So we know who's at fault, and nobody's going to jail for that one. All right. Next. Okay, so I've been talking about negative interest rates. They're coming. 100% they are coming. The UK just sold its first ever negative yielding government bond. Next. And here's my last one. Okay, so Fed discuss how to convince markets that interest rates will stay low for a long time.
How can we convince them?
They're always going to stay low.
Because clearly it's not the truth. So we need to convince them.
They're always going to stay low. They will never go up again. They're going to be negative very soon. The whole world's going to be negative. If
they jacked up, or if they did any kind of an increase on the interest rates, no one could afford their debt.
Yeah.
And talk about a default tsunami. Everything would default.
Pretty much.
And then what happens?
Yeah.
So negative interest rates means that you're paying to store your money in a bank and you are being paid to take out a loan. So they're trying to encourage more debt, and they cannot increase the interest rates because you can't afford that debt because your savings is getting drained by the negative interest rates.
Yeah. So there goes the middle class.
So when you hear, oh, that means I get to pay to take out a loan? Yes, you get paid to take out a loan, but not enough, probably not getting paid as much as you're losing on your savings account. And let's hope that you still have a job after all this.
Yeah. So with that said, this is why we are here.
Yeah.
We tell people, hey, you might want to own some gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Heidi has a bunch of alts that she's into as well that have done really well even through this last pullback.
Mostly way up. For price appreciation, but also to establish a good passive income that will benefit.
Yeah.
In the long run.
I think passive income is really good, especially if you want to be spending your crypto.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
I mean, that might be what the world comes to when cryptocurrency hits mainstream, is everyone's able to have a passive income. And then, can you imagine? Let's just daydream for a second. You don't have to have a job. You have a passive income coming in, and you can spend your time however you feel. Actually contribute to society.
So not having a job just means like not working for money.
Exactly, doing what you want to do.
You really want to do.
Being productive. You don't have. You won't be as mentally exhausted going to a job that you hate, having to deal with people that you hate.
And also, like with the world going negative interest rates, people are going to look for something that has give them like a profit. You know what I mean? So like if you're in like a staking coin that's giving you 5 or 6% or even 10 or 15%, why not? If it's good legit coin with good developers and has a great community behind it and has plenty of cash and blah blah blah, why not? I think that's a great bet, and you're getting paid, in that coin as well while it's going up. So I think it's pretty good, I think it could be a great thing. Anyways.
Yeah, that's our live stream. Hope you guys enjoy this. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Getting paid to get fat and lazy.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So if you're getting paid, that means you can, focus on something that you really are passionate about.
Yeah.
Like instead of going to a job that you're constantly exhausted.
Don't be afraid of freedom.
Afterwards.
That's what I would say.
So if you're going to a job and you're coming back home, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Just turn on the TV and zonk. Well, that's not very productive. That's not a very good job,
Yeah.
first of all, because like you don't have any time to be creative when you're outside of the job, unless that's your job, is being creative. Like if you're working, 9 to 5, something you hate, and you're mentally exhausted about that, I think crypto could be a really good thing,
Yeah.
So a great opportunity right there. So especially now, before the halving really kicks in,
Yeah.
which it hasn't yet.
I mean, and there's always going to be fat and lazy people. They're all over the place. So that's
Sure.
just the thing. For those of us who want to do more with our lives, that could be a good thing as well for free up that time. But we've been trying to keep these live streams concise and around the 30-minute mark, and we hit that right now. So thank you, everyone who has participated in the live chat. Next time we go live, we are going to do... I'm announcing it. He doesn't know I'm announcing it right now.
What are you going to
Ask me anything. So like you can ask us about Portugal, about surfing for Toby.
Not our private keys.
Not our private key. You can ask us anything. We might not necessarily answer it, but you can ask
Good
it.
idea.
So I think that would be a good idea for you guys to get to know us a little bit better.
News.
Huh?
I can't give some good news.
You can't?
Like with the news that I've been talking about.
What do you mean?
Because it's only going to get more crazy.
Well, maybe we'll sneak some in there.
All right.
But again, so thank you for taking part in this live stream. We'll see you again next Monday, noon Eastern time. In the meantime, I'll be getting to you guys out another video, another good old crypto tips video very soon in the next few days. So subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. And join Patreon also to get a lot more information as well.
Yeah.
So stay happy and healthy. We'll see you again soon. Bye.